Hello, you lovely people. Welcome back to another Genshin Impact video. And today, we're going to be doing a Sandrone build video. I'm going to be showing you guys how I built my Sandrone, going over some DPS numbers, and I'm going to be taking her into Stygian and Spiral Abyss to show you guys how her performance looks like in those game modes. Now, more than actually doing a build video showing you like exactly what her build is supposed to be numbers-wise and everything, because I know there will be people with better builds than myself, I'll give you guys an estimate on what her numbers should be, and more importantly, show you guys how good stellar reactions are. Now, what I am also going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you guys the difference between C0 yay and C1 yay. So, of course, we can get yay for free, but I want to show you guys the difference between the two. Of course, I have my constellation ready. I will pick it up in a moment. But first and foremost, before we get into anything else, I'm going to show you guys my build for Sandrone. So, of course, artifacts-wise, very simply put, it is on Disenchantment and Deep Shadow. You know, you get the attack percent, you get the stellar superconduct and stellar conduct damage bonuses as well, along with the crit rate. Now, I will say my Sandrone is a little bit wonky in the sense I have too much crit rate. As you can see here, 75% crit rate is not what you need, especially because you're going to be running two cryo characters, so you're going to be getting that 15% crit rate. Then the artifact set is giving you another 16%, so you're basically getting an additional 31%. So realistically, you want to be around 68, 69, nice number by the way, and you want to tune it a little bit more towards crit damage, which I do have a bit of a decent amount. 215, 16% is not bad, but ideally, from what I gather, I've seen people with 230 to 40% crit damage, of course. So you can get those numbers. Again, it's just a case of getting a bit of good luck with your artifact sets. Now, you can see my artifact pieces right here. Flower was not too shabby, of course. I say not too shabby. That's a 40 CV right there, of course. 34 CV right there. Not insane, but decent enough, especially because you get the attack percentage as well right there. My feather, I had to just pick up an off piece on this one, to be quite honest. I just was getting no level of good luck with you know, an on piece feather, to be honest. This is the closest one I could get, and I just got that like literally yesterday morning. I haven't leveled it up because I felt like, well, you know, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes in terms of that. This isn't a bad piece anyways, and the rest of my pieces aren't terrible to warrant me needing to put this back on piece and then go for something else as an off piece, basically, right? My sands, I can see some improvement here potentially, right? Especially because, of course, I could, you know, remove that one HP bonus I've gotten. That's probably the only weak point about this, but still not a bad piece overall. 34 CV. I'm not one to be picky and go for 40 CV. I mean, of course, 40 CV is ideal. That's the, you know, promised land of, you know, amazing pieces. But I'm going to take what I can get, especially with how my luck has been recently in Genshin Impact. Now, this piece, again, I think can be a little bit better, especially mainly for me. I think the issue is I'm not getting a good stat line set, right? All my stat lines include either flat defense or flat attack or flat HP, right? If you look at all my other pieces as well, this has flat HP, this has flat defense. This has defense percentage, which isn't great. Would have been preferred if it was energy recharge or EM. But, you know, you have to take what you can get. And then this piece, I think, is not bad at all. 10% crit rate, 17.5% attack. Again, the only downside is that one roll going into HP, but I'm not really going to complain that much about it. But I'd say I've done a good job overall in terms of my pieces, considering brand new character, brand new, you know, artifact set. Yes, we had it since last patch, but still, you know, you don't necessarily get this much, these decent level artifacts, you know, in one patch. It usually takes me like 2 or 3 patches to get it, but I'm glad that I was able to get all of it ready to go because of Sandrone being phase 1, basically, right? Obviously, one thing that really does help, by the way, and I have to keep harping on about this, that this is the best thing that they could have introduced, is the transmuter. And the fact that you can do 2 pieces from a specific set each patch. It's so handy, and I'm now saving up the rest of my sanctifying elixirs for, of course, Nesnaya, because we're probably going to get new artifact sets, and we're going to be getting, you know, potentially new characters that will need those artifact sets. So I'm 100%, you know, going to be saving up all my elixirs for that purpose. Now, let's go over to Miliastra because I want to show you guys her DPS first and foremost, right? That's the most important thing. So if we go to monthly popular and we'll go to DPS test dummy plus plus, we'll go in there and we'll do a first and foremost, I'm going to show you guys the rotation I used when it comes to Sandrone and everything. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to claim Ye's constellation, and we're going to come back and check the DPS again. So what I usually do is I do a I'm not using Escoffier, by the way. I wanted to test how much of a difference it was between Escoffier and Sucrose. It's a little bit for sure. You can tell there is a difference, but I feel like especially if you're somebody who has Skirk as your main team, then you're obviously going to want to save your Escoffier for that team. It's much better, of course. Escoffier is much better on Skirk's team, right? So Sucrose is a good alternative if you don't have, say, for example, Nicole, right? Then Sucrose is a solid option. And of course, we'll see probably Sucrose getting replaced, that fourth slot getting replaced next patch onwards, probably, right? With the likes of, you know, maybe Odette, Alyosha, Vesna, whoever comes into play. Vesna unlikely because I think she had an Animo linchpin or vision. We still don't know. So she might be a completely different set of reactions, right? So no point in holding on that front. Anyways, let's go and check it out. 60 seconds. We're going to give 60 seconds of testing the damage, and I'm going to talk about my rotation. So we'll start it quickly. So first and foremost, I placed the Sakuras. Now you could obviously use Ye's ability right there immediately, but I don't do that. So I just put the Sakuras down. Then I use Chi-Chi's E basically, and then I do a normal attack after that just to kind of get the crit rate hit from the Favonius as well, and then just you keep doing it again and again. Then you use Sucrose E and Q, and then you can use Sandrone's E and then just go charged attack. Just go charge attack. And of course, you use her burst if it's available to you. Otherwise, you just refresh and go back again, and then you rinse and repeat. So basically, E, E, E with the A, E normal attack with Chi-Chi, do this with Sucrose, do an E attack with Sucrose, and then E elemental skill, and then charged attack with Sandrone. So you can see my DPS isn't that high right now. I've not done the rotations as cleanly as I normally do them. Like for example, I was able to get like, I think it was about 109k DPS with Sucrose. But yeah, it seems like I've not done a great job this time around with my rotations. Of course, I think it was with Escoffier, and I'm going to show you guys Escoffier as well in just a moment. Escoffier, I think, was able to net me, I'd say about like, I think it was about like 120k-ish, I want to say. I think it was around 120k, but yeah. So anyways, the time elapsed is 90 seconds. We've gone beyond the time, so I'm just going to stop it there. Thank you very much. And I'm going to abandon the challenge. Let's abandon the challenge, and I'm going to come back in quickly with Escoffier, show you guys how Escoffier will do in comparison to Sucrose. But generally speaking, I'm pretty sure I was able to get like 105k with Sucrose. Again, you have to be like on it basically when it comes to using the rotations and stuff. You have to be you know, exact with it. But to be honest, again, you know, you move around here and there. Like I say, you have to remember, getting that 100 plus k, 120k, whatever it is, the big numbers, is obviously super beneficial. You're gonna obviously then be able to clear, like for example, Stygian Fearless super quickly. But remember, you don't need Stygian Fearless. Of course, if you want to challenge yourself and you want to do really well, I've never done Stygian Fearless. I'll admit and say that. I've never really done Stygian Fearless because I just don't feel like investing the time and effort. For me, I like the combat of Genshin, but I'm not in love with the combat of Genshin to the point where I'm going to, you know, prioritize it massively. You know, it's not my cup of tea in that regards. But I know there are so many people who are like that, who are a fan of Genshin's combat like that, so they are going to do it in such a way. All right, let's use this one's Q. Do this, trigger that, boom, there we go. All right, so how are we looking in terms of this? Not too crazy yet. Okay, we're going up in the DPS. Yeah, we're going up. It goes up, it builds up very easily. That's the beauty about the stellar reactions. It's crazy how easily you can build up the DPS so quickly. Like, it just goes numbers wise, it just goes up. Like, it's crazy. Like, you can see the numbers 115k, and we're not even at like 60 seconds yet. I usually leave it at 60 seconds because that's where you start noticing the big damage. All right, let's see here. Come on, there we go. Can I get it? Oh, I missed the 120k. I've hit 120k around the time of this, but yeah, 113k, killing it on that. Not bad at all. All right, now comes the big one, right? Now comes the big one. I want to see how Yai Miko does at C1. Now, originally, I on this very channel, you can go back and check it out. I might leave it as a link in the at the end of this video, because it's just a funny thing. There used to be a time where, when Temper Thyself first came out, right? When Temper Thyself first came out, I made a tier list of the ranking all the constellations, saying this is great, this is great, this is bad, this is great, this is what you should go for. That list is completely changed, obviously, since then, you know, with the introduction of things like Hexorite buffs, right? With the introduction of the Revelations buff. And now, of course, if in the future they do add more, it's going to change again. So, honestly, this event, this Temper Thyself event, is probably one of the best events that they could have introduced by far and away. I mean, the fact that you can get so many characters, so many good characters. Chi-Chi is now great. Yai Miko is now great. Sino, great as well, right? Who else is there? Let's see, 1 second. Klee, great as well with Hexorite buffs now. You have the likes of Mona. Where is Mona? Mona's there. Mona's also become decent as well. Or, well, she's always been decent, but the Hexorite has given her a little bit more as well to play with. Now, of course, I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do in the future with more characters, right? Albedo as well is really good as well. I just forgot he was on the list as well. But this is something I'm hoping they continue adding and doing more of. Now, what I do hope is, one, they still allow us to reset when the anniversary comes around, reset the entire Stella Fortuna, or when is this ending, by the way? 30 days. So yeah, literally, this is going to be the final one before 7.0 comes out, and it would have been a full year, I think, since the Temper Thyself event has come out. So it would be nice if we do get a full reset, allow us to get new constellations for characters we already redeemed for. So say, for example, I'm picking Yai Miko right now. Let me get another copy for her as well down the line. That would be amazing. But more importantly as well, add new characters as well to the roster, for one. And number two, I would appreciate if this specific selection of Temper Thyself characters became you can get a free copy of the character from the anniversary, right? Obviously, we know that standard characters are usually, you know, given to us for free, at least one of them for free in the anniversary. I would appreciate if they expanded it to include this list. It doesn't have to include the new list that they're going to maybe add for Temper Thyself, but it would be nice if that was the case, where we could get like a free copy of Yai Miko or a free copy of Sino or something like that. That way, people can get a chance at getting these characters without having to go and deviate to a banner that, you know, nobody probably wants to summon on, of course, right? But yes, there we go. Let's pick up our Yai Miko. There we go. One free constellation. Now, like I said, when I ranked these units in terms of their tier list, Yai Miko was very low, because all Yai Miko had initially for her C1 is literally that first line. Yai Miko restores 8 elemental energy to herself every time the Sakuras would activate a Tenko Thunderbolt. Now, she will basically give nearby party members 50% extra electro damage and stellar conduct damage bonus for 10 seconds. That is crazy. That is crazy. And it's every time she triggers a superconduct or stellar conduct reaction. Insane. Honestly, insane. And it's not just stopping there. You know, you've got C2 where the range goes up. You've got an extra tank max level goes up as well. You get EM bonus as well. It's insane. She's crazy now with her constellations. But obviously C1 is the most critical one, and the fact that you can get it for free is crazy. I've said crazy way too many times, but honestly, the stellar reaction so far is seriously impressive, considering you only have Sandrone as a driver right now to get stellar reactions going. Then you have Yaimiko, who's like a 6-year-old character at this point, a 5-year-old character at this point. Then you have Chi-Chi, who is a 6-year-old character and a standard character at that point, at this point. And then a fourth slot that can be utilized by any character you have that's attack scaling or EM scaling or whatever it is, right? Helping out with the reactions, basically. So in my personal opinion, it is just insane. So we know that the DPS was around 112, 113k with Escoffier, right? We'll use Escoffier for now just to see what it's like, and I can probably use her in this in the Spiral Abyss and Stygian, because I don't think I'm using the Skirk team anywhere else. So let's see how it goes, right? So let's start. Boom, boom, boom. Do this, hit this, and then this. We'll just use the Q first and foremost, immediately off frame. There we go. And now let's see how much damage we can get. I'm feeling the DPS is already much higher at the start than last time. Let's see. Holy shit. 128 already. Jesus Christ. And we'll just do this as well. May as well. Use the Q as well on Chi-Chi. Do this. Reset there. There we go. Come on. How much damage are we going to get here? Let's see. And not to mention, you can get more ER as well, elemental energy, because the particles she's generating is giving us way more. 140k. This is the numbers I was expecting to see. I was expecting to see these numbers. Come on, let's see how much damage we're going to get here. Come on. I saw 140 there for a split second. Which is insane. All right. I'm going to stop there. 130k. 130k is what we can say. We saw a 140k at one point, but obviously that was because of Sandrone's burst and everything. And I think if I used the burst again, it would have shot up once more. So, but I wanted to do it based on 60 seconds, because that's generally how long a hard fight will be. Now, this is Spiral Abyss, by the way. I'm using Spiral Abyss 812 for this. Stygian would probably be different. Of course, there'd be no energy recharge or anything of that sort. But man, remember, this is just the beginning as well. This is just the start of stellar reactions. I think more than anything else, like I said at the start of this video, I didn't want to show you guys how crazy Sandrone was, because Sandrone is great, right? There's no doubt about it. But what is even crazier about Sandrone is the fact that stellar reactions are just so strong right now. And a lot of people will probably say, like, this is a concerning point, because of course, you know, like lunar reactions was and everything is going to be very limited, right? Obviously, the only real way to actually get some lunar reactions going was either through Aino or Columbina properly when it came to hydro reactions. Of course, you could use, you know, Llama plus Nefer, and then you can use any hydro characters and stuff like that. But if you think about it, right, to set up proper lunar reactions, you needed like one of those two. And even Aino by herself wouldn't be able to set up those lunar reactions. I think it's good that going into Snezhnaya, it most likely will be the case where Traveler should be able to set up his own pole star field for stellar reactions, right? That is going to be so massive. It's going to be so massive, right? It'll automatically just help out tremendously when it comes to, you know, everything, any type of content, because now you don't need a 5-star character to set up these fields. Now, what I am hoping for, and I'm already disappointed a little bit with Snezhnaya about this, is that the 4-stars don't have the linchpins, right? Alyosha, we saw his drip marketing. He didn't have a linchpin, which means he won't be able to set up a stellar field like how Sandrone is able to, and potentially Odette will be able to as well. Of course, I think Odette will be able to. But again, like I say, you know, we'll have Sandrone, Odette, Saritsa, at least 3 cryo characters who can help drive the stellar reactions, because they'll be the cryo characters. So you'll have at least 3 options to choose from, and then you can obviously summon for, you know, whatever comes out, conduct wise or swirl wise, or whatever they're planning on doing in the future. Maybe stellar vape, stellar melt, I don't know. Whatever happens in the future with the reactions, then you'll only need to get those characters that you choose to get, right? So I think there is that positivity, but we'll have to just wait and see. Anyways, let's start off with this, right? Let's do Stygian menacing first, and I want to see how we fare. Actually, you know what?
I'll do Fearless. Let me see how she does on Fearless. Because, like I say, I'm not one to do Fearless, to be honest. I'll be very honest and say that Fearless is not my go-to usually. But what's the harm in checking out what happens? You know, what's the harm in checking out what indeed does happen? I want to get Farina. Farina will use her for healing purposes primarily. Yes. And then for this, we can just go with the usual setup I normally use for the Knight Soul Blessing team. Yeah. This is actually my best chance at actually doing Fearless, to be honest. This is probably my best chance at doing Fearless. It's perfect setups. I have the perfect teams in regards to this. But it's me also playing properly. That's the other issue, is I need to actually focus in and double down. I actually wanted to do this as a stream, but unfortunately, due to just generally how my schedule is and everything right now, it was a little bit tricky, unfortunately. Let me just attack all of these. Do this. There we go. Come on. Did we not break it? Oh, come on. There we go. All right. Hopefully we can do this. There we go. Do this. Come on, there we go. All right, lovely stuff. Come on, give me the burst. There we go. Come on, there we go. Complete the battle within 120 seconds. Yeah, we'll be able to. We'll be able to. Thankfully, we'll be able to. Jesus Christ. Come on, can I get the burst up in time? No, I can get it on this rotation though, which is good. All right, sweet. Come on, will that kill? There we go. Man, the numbers are crazy. The numbers are insane. It's honestly so nice to see. I'm going to use Fragile Resin. May as well, just to see what I can get. No. I need to get this up and running anyways as well. So that'll be handy as well. All right, battle preparation. We'll go to the next fight. All right, let's see how we fare with this. All right, I'm about to just finish off the fight with the automaton. There we go. English is a hard language. And that is my first ever Fearless challenge complete. And you can just see how crazy that clear is with Sandrone compared to my other clears. I just find it, I think the beautiful thing about Sandrone's team, generally speaking, is that it's super easy to learn the rotation. Like, it's not complicated in any way, shape, or form, unlike Maoika, for example, right? I mean, if you look at Maoika's strings, they change every week and it just gets harder and harder, and I'm just not bothering with it. I'm just spin to win with Maoika more often than not, just because it makes life so much easier. But I'm just so happy to see, one, you know, me being able to clear it for one. Thankfully, that's the first time that's ever happened. But two, also just generally a team that's just so nice and easy to use, honestly speaking. Now, I know this video might be a little bit of a shill in terms of go summon for Sandrone, but it is honestly not a bad idea to summon for her, because again, her being the first ever stellar unit, just like NF, will make life a lot easier down the line. Now, of course, you might not like her necessarily, and that's completely fine. You can just wait until Snezaya comes out. Then maybe if a rerun comes and you want to get her, you can get her. But I do think it's not a bad idea, especially if you're planning on doing that, of course, right? But yeah, now they want me to do Dire, which I don't know about doing Dire just yet. We'll have to see on that front. But I'm just glad I'm able to do, you know, this. And looking at my friends as well, they've been able to do it as well. It seems like some people did it on Fearless, some people did it on hard mode. And I think that's the thing as well, right? Just like I was going to say earlier on, and I think I forgot to mention it, you don't need to do Fearless, by the way. I'm doing Fearless for the first time because I know I have the team to do Fearless, right? Most people may not have that team to do Fearless, or the teams to do Fearless, and it's fine as long as you can get the Primo Gem rewards. That is the critical point. That is the most important thing you need to get when it comes to any of this, right? Now, the reason why I also skipped over my attempts at Lauma and Affairs team and the Maoika team was because I wanted to show you guys primarily Sandrone. That's the point of this video, is just to show you guys what Sandrone is capable of doing. So we're going to do the same here. I'm going to just show you guys only Sandrone's side for the most part. I mean, it's going to be very simple. Floor 11, I'm just going to zoom through, and then we're going to go straight into floor 12 and see what happens. All right, let's see. 1 second. I'm just building team and I've forgotten where all my units are. Where's Chi-Chi? Am I blind? There she is. Escoffier and this one and pyro damage bonus. Of course, you know who we're using. You know what time it is. It's time to spin to win, baby. All right, where's Malvika? Come on. Come on, girl. Come on, girl. Man, I'm so excited to see what's in store for us for Sneznaya, man. It's just gonna be so crazy. Oh god, I forgot about this one. I forgot about I'm not gonna lie, I forgot about the oh, what just happened? Okay, that was a bit weird. That was a little bit weird. All right, come on, get out of here, man. I hate these guys, man. I genuinely hate the Electro mages more so than any of the other ones. Electro and I would say Cryo as well. Cryo is just as bad. Honestly, I hate Cryo as well. And speaking of Cryo, they're here as well. But at least I'm okay with Cryo because I have Mavika. I think you know what made me hate Cryo even more was having used Barbara for so long. I'll be honest and say I was once upon a time ago a Barbara main. I used to run Barbara a lot, and so of course with the hydro reactions she would have and everything plus cryo, it was just a no fly zone every single time. It would just be a bad idea every single time. It was funny more often than not, but it was just quite annoying more often as well. It was just annoying. All right, there we go. Whew. Floor 11's a piece of cake now, to be honest. Floor 11's a piece of cake. The real threat obviously starts in floor 12, of course, more often than not. But yeah, floor 11, what used to be a challenge once upon a time ago when floor 11 is no longer. I wish they'd do that a little bit more, to be honest. Like, floor 12, keep it as hard as it is. But I feel like floor 11 should be a little bit more of a challenge, to be honest. I just don't find it as challenging anymore. Even if I'm running off teams, in the sense like teams that aren't, you know, getting the leyline bonuses or anything, I still find it quite easy, to be honest. I'll just be honest and say that. I just find them way too easy. All right, let's do this. And oh wait, there's more enemies. Okay, that's fine. We got him. We got him. We can take him down. Easy pickings. All right, let's move on. 2 opponents. I was about to say, really? Just this guy? I think what they need to do, especially if it's just this guy, why not add the other enemy as well? Like, it's 2 of the same ones. You're just making life so easy for people, which is fine. I mean, hey, listen, I'm all for making people's life easier, but at some point you gotta just admit, like, that's a bit too easy, you know? That's a bit too easy. Now, I don't know the enemies going into this spiral abyss, to be honest. I'm just going in blind, but we may as well see what's in store for us. Oh god, really? I was gonna say, seriously? There we go, come on. Let's see what's in store for us. Hopefully we can kill this guy before the next set comes out. Alright, there we go, and then I'm gonna use my burst. I used the burst a little bit early, but that's okay. That's fine. Boom. Come on. Who's the last one? Oh, it's this guy. Easy pickings. There we go. And then we'll use the burst as well. And that should KO him. That should KO him. Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. That is insane. That is insane. I'm gonna have to keep a closer eye when we get to the later part of floor 12. I want to see the actual numbers. I find it a little bit annoying because some of the numbers are just too all over the place. This guy again? Really? They put him in Stygian and here? Okay. I mean, I'm not going to complain necessarily. It's going to make my life easy. He's one of the easiest world bosses in my personal opinion. Just because of the way his whole thing is set up with the... You have to destroy the totems, basically. And then that's it, right? I just find it a bit too easy. All right, there we go. And do this. And the fact that they take damage as well is always funny to me because it's just like, well, that makes life easier. All right, there we go. Use the ult. Oh. Oh, okay. He survived that. Well, to be fair, I hadn't used it completely properly there. But anyways, we move on to floor chamber 3 easily. Or chamber 2. Is this chamber 2? Chamber 2. Sorry, my bad. My bad. I went one step ahead. Oh, God, really? Him? Okay, I wasn't expecting his ass. I really was not expecting his ass. Come on. All right, let's just do this normally, and then we'll use Sandrone again. I hate the lectors as well, man. What don't I hate? What don't I hate is the real question. The problem with the electrolectors is mainly just they take away the damn charge. Oh, you really? Oh, I wasn't expecting you to be here. They've been using this guy a lot recently. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like this is the second time I've seen him in like 4 abysses or something. Feels like they're using him way too much. I mean, it's okay because we do have Chi-Chi, so she has a little bit of a shield, if I recall correctly. But that's fine. We tanked it as well. It wasn't a problem. I'm saving the ult. I'm saving the ult with Chi-Chi so that we can heal up next time round. All right, this chick's easy. Defeat 2 opponents. I'm gonna save Bennett's ult. I'm gonna save it for when we get to the next phase. I should have done that with this one as well. Oh, don't you have something to do with like oh no, I feel like you have something to do with Animo. Oh, don't tell me I'm gonna need to bring an Animo character for this one. I hate when that happens every time. I remember for some reason she needs like this world boss like has some shenanigans with Animo or something. I don't remember, to be honest. Oh no, never mind. Okay, good. Okay, it was Melt. I remember there's a boss, or I think it's a local legend. Sorry, it might be a local legend. The one in Nordcry. That one requires Animal. I think that's the one that I'm mixing it up with. Sorry, that's my bad. All right, but yeah, I mean, look at this. All right, let's see. Oh, this guy. Okay. All right, let's see how the damage looks like with Sandrone. This is where we can test it out massively. All right, let's see. What are we seeing? 90Ks, give or take. I saw 1 million there. 100K, sorry. I saw 106K there. Which is really good, to be honest. It's consistent as well, right? It's constantly proccing, which is really darn good. Yeah, you can see the 108Ks there, and it's like it's repetitive. It's not like Mawika that just bursts it into one go. Basically, it's consecutive. It's over a period of time, which is also pretty good. Oh, I knew we were gonna face this lady. I knew we were gonna face this lady at some point in here. I don't think I've seen her before in this in this specific in Abyss. I feel like I've seen her in Stygian, which is really annoying. Of course, very, very annoying. Let me see if I can beat multiple of them at the same time. There we go. Annoying lady, annoying ass lady. I hate this world boss. But easy to beat. Clearly very easy to beat, especially when she's knocked down. It's not even, it's a joke. It's honestly a joke. Well, there you go. Abyss done as well. I do Imaginarium Theater as well, but there'll be so much happening and I'd have to get the right teams, and you could probably still make Sandrone work in some way, shape or form with other characters as well, but it'll just be a little bit more annoying. So I'm not going to show you guys IT necessarily. I think the main ones I wanted to show you was of course Stygian. Stygian is, I think, of course, right now the you know, bread and butter of Genshin's endgame. It's the one that has the most influence, I suppose, in terms of determining whether or not a character is good. And I've got to admit, it did a fantastic job in showing how good Sandrone was. Now, I would do Dire, but let's do one run of Dire. Frick it. Let's do one run of Dire. I'm gonna try and do Dire with Sandrone first. I'm not gonna bother with the other characters because I know I'm probably not gonna be able to do it with the other characters, or I'll do it, but it'll be very slow. I'm not gonna be able to do it in 180 seconds all together. But I'm gonna see how long it'll take me with Sandrone's team to do Dire. Dire is gonna be very difficult. It is a challenging run, but let's see. So let's see where are the enemies at. Do this, and then do this. Come on, there we go. And now we can just attack him. Come on, there we go. Burst. I was hoping for bursts at some point, but that's all right. Let's do this. There we go. Come on, there we go. There's the burst. Not bad damage considering the level and everything. It's good. It's good over here. All right, let's reset back up here. Boom. Do this. I want to see if I can beat it in the limited time that we're given, of course. That's the most important thing. It might be tight, you know. It might be very tight. I'm not too confident. You really need like crazy amount. Yeah, I'm not too certain I'm going to be able to do this, but let's see. Come on, there we go. There we go. All right, was able to do that. That's good. Set up that pole star field, stellar conduct. Oh, come on, get back here. Get your ass back here, bro. Bro's running away from me like he can do anything. No, 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 no. I hope I did the E. I don't recall if I did the E or not, but that's fine. Will I be able to clear it in the 30 seconds? I don't know, you know. I wasn't too clean in that second phase, to be honest. I wasn't clean at all. But let's see. Come on. Can I do it? Can I do it? 10 more seconds to go. I have one attempt. I'm going to get the Sandrone's burst as well. Let's see. Come on. There we go. I'm going to just launch the burst. Ah, did I do it? No, I missed out on it. Yeah, I knew that I wasn't going to be able to do this. You need to be perfect. You need to really do well in dire Stygian. Of course, if you have higher constellations, then it's a joke, right? Especially if you're really good at the game. I'm one who will admit, like, I have too many flaws in my play style when it comes to Stygian, for Stygian, I should say, for the combat and stuff. So there you have it. Sandrone, I think it was well worth building her, for one. It was well worth getting her, and I cannot wait to see how much more we're going to see from Snezhnaya with, of course, the introduction of potentially even more supports. Because remember, I'm using three characters, technically. We used a Scoff here today instead of Sucrose, but we're using two characters that are from effectively in the 1980s at this point in time when it comes to Genshin Impact, right? These characters are from the first year of the game, right? Basically, Yaimiko was a couple of patches after the first anniversary, but what's to say they're going to be they're not going to be replaced in the future, right? They're going to be replaced, in my opinion. I think it's obvious. This is a gacha game at the end of the day. As much as I'd rather they not get replaced, and I would love to see Yaimiko and Chi-Chi, you know, run, you know, rings around everybody else for the next patch cycle with the stellar conduct and everything, it's pretty obvious they're gonna start replacing these characters at some point. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Did you guys get Sandrone yourself? And if you guys have any tips for me as well, feel free to let me know. I'm always welcome to, you know, listening to you guys when it comes to, you know, new forms of you know, rotations, builds. Do you suggest anything I can do with my artifacts that can be better, so on and so forth? Let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much once again for watching this video. As always, I appreciate all of y'all for tuning in. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy, everybody. Bye bye.